case to Sharad Pawar.
Some interesting things have happened. Justice Ramana has said governor cannot appoint anyone and say it cannot be questioned. All this has been settled in past judgments. The majority has to be proven on the floor of the House. That's the issue here. Mukul Rohtgi then pipes in. There is a plea to direct the governor to invite them. I have never seen such a plea. To which Justice Ramana says, in this court, sky is the limit to press. People can come and say, make me the Prime Minister also. I like Ramana. He seems to have a bit of a
He's the next Supreme Court Chief Justice.
Yeah, he has a sense of humor in the midst
Andhra
of all of
Pradesh.
this. He says, you can come to me and say, make me Chief Justice.
And he's a very politically astute judge, because he was very close to Chandrababu Naidu in the sense when he was a lawyer. And of course, now of course is a judge of the Supreme Court, but he is very politically astute. Rohtgi says this plea is filed without any information. They should have gone to the governor to get the letters. Why did they file something in the middle of the night and disturb everyone?
Nah, this is bizarre. They wake up the president at 5:47 in the morning. That's not waking up somebody in the middle of the night. Rohtgi is saying, why are we here in the middle of the night?
Mr. Rohtgi was attending a marriage in Jaipur.
Last night.
So
he got disturbed in the middle of the night.
They were all pulled out. This was a marriage that I'm sure Rajdeep is also aware of. Another senior lawyer, BJD lawyer. His son is getting married. It's a destination wedding. Mr. Rohtgi was amongst those invitees. He was partying in Jaipur. And has that
so he's obviously upset about coming in on a Sunday morning.
You know, Rohtgi says court orders speaker to hold a floor test. It affects work inside the house. Suppose the legislature was to pass an order, a law that Supreme Court should dispose of all cases in 2 years. There is self-restraint between the two spheres.
Rohtgi is just making some really bizarre arguments.
Rohtgi basically is trying to say that the governor and the legislature has an independence. You can't interfere. He seems to be forgetting precedents. You know, the precedence is...
No, but I don't understand. How can Rohtgi say the court can't direct for a floor test? I mean, what is he even saying? He's saying you can't direct a floor test. The governor's taken a decision. Justice Ramana says we respect the difference between the judiciary and the executive. Rohtgi says the orders they want violate the sphere. You cannot order the speaker to hold a floor test. Plea is filed by political leaders who have no... he's saying that there is no argument for a floor test to be ordered by the Supreme Court, which is not correct, because in so many instances the Supreme Court has asked for a floor test. So Rohtgi's argument at this moment is stalling, asking for more time and sounding very
I would have thought that the BJP would have a strong case if they went and said, we are ready for any floor test. You know, it's the opposition which has been unable to come together. We are the ones who have formed a government. Let's go for the floor test.
Sayyid Zafar Islam is a brave man.
In 24 hours, exactly the opposite has happened.
The
side which was not sworn in says, let's have a floor test.
This is the dangal. This is kushti. I thought you were itching for a fight. Now it seems your lawyer in the Supreme Court is running away from the fight. He said, no, what's the hurry? Why are we here on Sunday? So everybody's here on Sunday, everybody's working. Rohtgi doesn't seem happy about being in the Supreme Court.
He's been pulled out of a wedding.
He was at a party apparently.
Let the Supreme Court take a call. I don't know whether today, tomorrow, or whichever day. Let the Supreme Court take a call. But it is the responsibility of the governor.
Okay, so Rohtgi is very irked about being here on Sunday. He's continuously harping that point. Even though the judges told him that he's happy being here, he doesn't have a problem because he has a constitution to uphold. Rohtgi says 2-3 days should be given to file replies to the opposition's plea. Forget floor test. He's asking for 2 or 3 days to file replies. He says there is a reference being made to a constitution bench on the issue of whether the Supreme Court can pass directions to a speaker acting in a quasi-judicial authority. If that is under question, we are talking about the highest constitutional authority. We should get time to file reply. We should be allowed to spend the rest of Sunday in peace. He's saying, let me spend the rest of Sunday in peace. Mukul Rohtgi obviously realizes, as a lawyer who's used to this kind of stuff, that he's arguing at this moment a seemingly weak case.
Look, the very fact that the court decided to meet on a Sunday should have sent him a message. You know, either the court could have met at midnight, which would have been worse for him. He would have had to leave even earlier from the party that he was having on a Saturday night, and he would have struggled to get in by the charter. Now he's come on a Sunday morning. I don't think you can make these... Look, what is his argument? Give me time.
He's saying, let me go back and have fun on a Sunday.
No, give me time to file my replies. You can't interfere with the governor's discretion. All these arguments have been made in the past in the Karnataka case and not been accepted by the court. So, unless the court is able to find something so substantially different in the Maharashtra case from the Karnataka case, you know, it appears that Mr. Mukul Rohtgi, for now, I mean, we're not prejudging what the court is saying, is really clutching at straws at the moment. And that is a very strange thing of how things have changed. Shankar Iyer, the momentum seems to have changed in 24 hours. At 8 o'clock yesterday morning, it appeared game, set and match to Mr. Fadnavis. At 12 o'clock today on a Sunday, it appears just the opposite. What's changed? Has Sharad Pawar made the big move?
Well, I think the BJP bet on its own organizational strength and the methods that it has deployed elsewhere in other states. So they overestimated their own strength and underestimated Sharad Pawar. I think that is playing out just now. I think the second part of this, I was listening into both Rahul and you. I think the trend of the arguments that Rodgi is making make for an interesting point there that's happening there. This arguments that he's making towards a reference to a larger bench, towards direction to the constitutional authority, all of this is intended and may well succeed to buy time for the BJP. Because the BJP, as one of their supporters told me this morning, it's in itself surprised that itna kacha kaam kaise hua. Because they thought that Ajit Pawar had organizational capability and had the hold on the party despite the fact that Sharad Pawar was the leader. And the second part, they said that whoever negotiated on behalf of BJP, of course now typically nobody names a losing battle, so nobody's named. And so whoever negotiated on behalf of the BJP really messed up on their arithmetic.
Now SC has issued a notice to Centre can call.
Needs to be paid. We need to pay attention to and not discount it.
SC has issued a notice to all respondents. Now that could mean that it could take time. If you've issued a notice to all respondents will ask for 24 hours to reply. So we need to know whether, in a sense, the SC, would that be right? If you issue a notice, the respondents will ask for time.
See, the moment the notice is issued is where the Supreme Court has asked the respondents to give their reply.
Right.
Not necessarily that they will give them time for that reply in as much as some few days. Supreme Court can also say, file your reply by tomorrow.
No, but that's because Justice Ramana says, is anyone appearing for the state government for Devendra Fadnavis and for Ajit Pawar? To which Kapil Sibal says, we served copies of the plea to everyone. We made sure they have chosen not to appear, which is a bit unfair. If you moved only yesterday, till the time the Supreme Court asks for Fadnavis to have someone there, Ajit Pawar to have someone, then someone surely has to argue on their behalf as well. That's a fair point.
It may be well that they will be given 24 hours and said, come back tomorrow with your responses and then we'll pass an order.
No, also the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta says, I am here to argue for the centre.